What's going on, guys? It's Jig here. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 3 armor combinations that you should be using at the beginning of wipe. And on top of that, I'm going to be talking about my personal favorite top 4 weapons to be using at the beginning of wipe / resetting your account. Very cost effective, very good for taking down other players, very good for taking down scavs, very good all around weapons at the beginning of wipe that don't need very much modding or very much attachments. So let's get straight into it. So today we're going to start talking about the helmets. So you got 3 helmets to choose from, in my opinion, that are the best options for you. You got your SSH 68 helmet, you have your 6B47 Ratnik helmet, and then you have your LZSH helmet. Now, the LZSH helmet is recommended by Pastili a lot. He talks about this helmet quite a bit on his channel. He talks about how when you are early game, having the ability to have the visor on it can help you quite a bit, can stop a lot of rounds. And this visor is very cheap at the beginning of wipe, so you can get your hands on this very quickly. So if we look at the SSH 68 helmet, it has a high ricochet chance, and it's made of armor steel. So it's going to repair fairly well. It's armor class level 3, so it's going to stop most of your shotgun calibers, most of your early wipe calibers on any weapon, 545, 556, 762, almost anything will be stopped by this within reason. You know, you're still gonna die if you get a headshot most of the time, but it'll help with some ricochet chance. It will mostly help against pistol rounds and shotgun rounds overall. But yeah, now let's get over to the 6B47 helmet here. Also high ricochet chance, also level 3. The reason I have these 2 helmets, while even though their stats are almost identical, is a big visual difference when you're in game. So if you ever see someone with a penis helmet standing next to someone with a Ratnik helmet, you'll notice immediately that the person with the penis helmet or the SSH 68 helmet, they're going to be way more shiny. The top of their head is way more shiny. It's way more visible from a greater distance. While it is more cost effective to use the SSH 68, you're going to have more luck, I would say, with the Ratnik helmet if you can afford it. While it's more expensive, the matte texture on the helmet is going to give you a little bit more protection as far as concealment. So you're going to be harder to see farther away, and overall this helmet has basically the same exact stats as the SSH 68 helmet. Now, if we go over to the third helmet here I have is the LZSH light helmet. It's got 50 armor points and it has a medium ricochet chance, but you can combine it with the visor. Now, this visor only protects your eyes. However, the armor class is level 2, so it can help against pistol bullets and shotgun rounds. And while it's not very good for repairing, it will save your life more than once if you use it. So I definitely recommend this combination with the helmets. Now let's get into the armors here. I have 3 armors laid out. We have the 6B23-1 armor, we have the press armor, and then we have the P.A.K.A. So these 3 armors, I recommend at the beginning of wipe, you stick with the P.A.K.A. And the reason for that is because it has the best overall durability when you use the multiplier for aramid. So every single armor in this game has different multipliers based off of the material that it's made out of. So for example, P.A.K.A. is made out of aramid, so it has a higher multiplier for the armor points. Now, if you take the P.A.K.A. armor and you use the multiplier that you can find on the wiki, you'll find that the P.A.K.A. armor has a 200 point durability. So overall, the P.A.K.A. armor is going to be your best option out of any level 2 armor. And I recommend using this quite a bit early game. While it is 50k to get your hands on, I believe from Ragman. Let's go ahead and check that out. Oh, okay, never mind. It's only 30k, so that's even better. And you can also turn in 3 masks for it, so that's great. Now for the press vest, you're not going to be able to buy that right off the bat. And in fact, you won't really be able to buy it ever because there's not really a good trade for it. There is a barter for it that involves a cat, but I personally don't believe that's worth it. I believe that if you do come across this armor, whether it's off of a scav or another player, go ahead and take it. It's definitely worth keeping. The reason why that is because it's level 3 armor. That's going to help you a lot early game. It's a little bit better than a P.A.K.A. because the level 3 is better than level 2. And the material is the ultra high weight polyethylene. So that is going to repair very well, and most people won't take this armor based off of the color. Now, personally, my preference is I don't really care what the color that armor is, just because after a certain distance, around 50 meters, there's going to be a drop off on visuals on most players anyways, just because most people have their settings turned down to the point where after around 50 meters, the player you're looking at just turns into a black silhouette. So I recommend, it doesn't really matter what armor you're wearing. It's all just going to turn into like a black silhouette anyways. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. Other people may feel different about that, but either way, the Zuck 3 press armor is definitely a solid choice. It repairs very well, and most people won't grab it off your body if they see you're wearing it. So I definitely recommend using this armor early wipe. It's definitely going to cover your ass quite a bit, and it's level 3, and you can use it multiple times if you get it back in insurance. Now, for probably our worst choice here, but the most cost effective at the beginning of wipe, is going to be your 6B23. So the 6B23 armor. This armor is pretty good at the beginning of wipe. You're going to be able to get it at, I believe, Propor. Let's go to Propor here. Yes, you're going to be able to buy it from Propor for a propane tank at the beginning of wipe. So if you're hitting the back of Ollie, if you're hitting interchange quite a bit, you're going to be finding these propane tanks all over the place. So I recommend, doing this barter for the armor. It's a cheap level 3 armor, and it's going to save your butt. It is made of armor steel, and it's not going to repair the best. However, it is going to cover your butt. It is a level 3 armor. Consider it a more budget level 3 armor. I would still use it if I got my hands on it, and it is accessible to you at level 1 traders. So I would definitely take advantage of that at the beginning of wipe. Now, a couple armors that aren't mentioned on this video here is the Yuli and I just call it the diaper rig, but it's offered by Ragman early wipe. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. It's a 50k armor. Yes, this one, 6B 3TM. So it's 50k, and the Yuli you can do a barter for. So the reason I didn't involve these into the video is because you don't have access to this at the beginning. You don't have access to it at level 1. However, if you do kill a scav or a player that is wearing this, I definitely recommend that you take this 6B3TM armor. It's very good. It's level 4 armor, and it comes with inventory space that you can combine with it. So if we go ahead and take a look at that. Yeah, so we already have, what is that, 12 slots? That's pretty good. You can store a lot of loot in there at the beginning of wipe. Now the Yuli, I would say only use the Yuli if you have to. It's not that great. It's made out of ceramic. It's not going to repair very well. You do get 10 slots inside of it, but overall, I would say the diaper rig here, the 6B3TM, is definitely going to be a better option once you unlock this. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the armor or the rigs here. So I have 3 rigs here. One of them you're going to have access immediately, and the other 2 you're going to have to find off of scavs or just in raid. So the first option that you're going to have right off the bat when you load up your character when you first start is the bank robber. You can get this from level 1 Ragman right off the bat. It gives you 8 slots. It's perfect if you want to run 4 mags for your gun. That's pretty standard for a lot of players. They run 4 mags plus maybe extra ammo. You can put 1 mag in the gun plus 3 in the bank robber, and that gives you 1 open slot for the mags to swap when you reload. Now for the Azimuth. The Azimuth you're not going to find right off the bat. It's most likely going to be found off scavs / other players that have taken it off of scavs. So it's going to give you quite a bit of space. In fact, it's going to give you the most space out of all 3 of these rigs. In my opinion, this is one of my favorite rigs besides the Triton. You're also going to find the Triton off of scavs, but this one I believe is just a little bit better because you do get these extra 2 slot spaces here. So the Azimuth, you're not going to find it off of flea market, or you're going to find it on the flea market fairly early wipe, and you're going to find it off of scavs. Overall, it's a pretty good choice. However, it might be pretty expensive at the beginning of wipe if you want to buy it off of the flea market. I recommend finding it in raid. It's definitely a solid storage space, and it's going to just overall fit in with most armors. So let's go ahead and look at the Umka here. Umka is pretty great early wipe. You're not going to find this all over the place at the beginning of wipe, but it does spawn on scavs, and you can get your hands on it fairly quickly. So the Umka, it does come with a 2x2 slot space, which is pretty handy if you want to hold like a fuel container or a propane tank or a grizzly kit or whatever it might be. You can put a lot of stuff in this 2x2 container. It also comes with 4 1x1 slots and 4 2x2 or 2x1 slots. So it does have quite a bit of space, a little bit more than the bank robber. But the bank robber, in my opinion, is the most cost effective. You can get it for about 10k rubles right off the bat off a Ragman. But these 3 rigs are personally my favorite. If you do find the Triton rig, I definitely recommend you use that one as well if you don't have these other 3. But in my opinion, these are definitely solid options. Now for your headset, you have 2 options for the headset. At the beginning of wipe, I recommend using the GSSH-01 headset. While it's cheap, you also get a lot of noise out of it. So what do I mean by that? I would say it's probably the loudest headset in the game. I would say probably out of all the headsets that I've worn throughout the entire wipe, this headset is definitely so much louder than all the others. And that's not necessarily a good thing because you want to be able to hear other people and not just yourself, but this headset is definitely going to do you good. So I recommend using the GSSH helmet. If you don't like the GSSH helmet, or not the helmet, sorry, the headset, go ahead and use the M32. It's a solid option. It is definitely cheap. You can get it around 20k rubles off of, I believe, Skier. And it's definitely a good option. It's definitely going to sound a lot better than the GSSH helmet or headset. Holy crap, I don't know why I'm saying helmet. The headset, it's definitely going to sound a lot better, definitely higher audio quality, but you are going to be paying a bigger fee for it. So just know that. I personally can tolerate the GSSH helmet or headset. And besides that, that's just a solid headset right at the beginning. You don't need to spend too many rubles at the beginning of the wipe on headsets. I recommend you just, spend the least amount as you can, just so that way you can hear. Because most of the time at the beginning of wipe, you're going to be maybe in dorms or something, and you're going to be hearing another player coming up, and you want to be really quiet, so you're not going to really be hearing yourself anyways. All right, so for the 4 types of weapons that I have here, you have 4 types here. You have the SKS, and you have the PP-19, and you have the infantry Mosin, sniper Mosin, and then you have the hunter rifle. Now, these 4 weapon classes, they all have different purposes. The OP SKS is very great in my opinion. It's one of my very favorite weapons to use at the beginning of the wipe. And why is that? It's because you can find BP 762 rounds all over the map, on any map. And if you can get your hands on that, it's just going to go straight through anyone's armor in the game. And at level 2 Peacekeeper, you can get access to the 20 round SKS magazine. And at level 2 Skier, you can get access to the Cobra EKP-8. So it's definitely worth keeping your hands on, and you also get access to the Dovetail mount right at the beginning of wipe once you unlock Skier, and you can pair that with even the PSO sight if you want that. So you can put Calamitors and you can put long range sights on the SKS. It's overall a very good weapon, and you can top load it, which is my favorite option on it. So when I go into raid with this weapon, I often bring extra ammo. I put it in my gamma container, and then I bring the SKS in, and whenever I need to reload, I just put more BP ammo into my pockets. It saves you money in the long run, because if you do die, you're not going to lose all your ammo at once. And 20 rounds most of the time can last you quite a while in most fights if you use it the right way. Now for your second option here, you're going to have the PP-19. The PP-19, in my opinion, is the best budget SMG at the beginning of the wipe. You're going to have the ability to go fully automatic. You're going to have 30 round mags, and you can put any type of 9mm ammo in it. Personally, at the beginning of the wipe, I just go ahead and put PST-GZH. You're not going to be penning through a lot of armor at the beginning of the wipe anyways, so PST-GZH will work pretty well anyways. With this PP-19, it's pretty much got 0 recoil anyways, so you can aim for headshots fairly easily. And if let's say you're running factory or something, it's not too hard to get kills with it. The only limiter on this gun is going to be your range factor here. It's not going to be modded out early wipe, obviously, but with level 2 Jaeger, you're going to have access to get the mount up here with level 2 prop ore. So level 2 prop ore is going to give you access to have the mount at the top of the receiver here. So you have the Ishmaz Vityaz receiver, whatever it's called. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. But it's going to be able to let you mount the EKP sight on it, which is pretty helpful. If you can't get to that just yet, if it's just at the beginning of the wipe and you don't have access to that, you also have access just to the EKP sight fairly on, so you can put that on other weapons. And the PP-19 isn't too bad with just iron sights, in my opinion, especially since the recoil on it is fairly minimal. Now the Mosin, everyone needs to use the Mosin, right? You need it for quests, you need it for leveling up your sniper skill, and you just need it overall. So the Mosin is a great gun right at the beginning. You're gonna have 5 shots, 6 shots in it if you put an extra shot in it before you enter a raid. And if you want to know how to do that, you basically just put it in your inventory, unload the magazine for it, load up the magazine, put the magazine into the gun, and then you load an extra bullet into the actual chamber. So you can actually fit 6 shots in it, and that can help you out quite a bit and just give you that 1 extra shot, and it can save your life sometimes. So that is the Mosin. Now for calibers / rounds, you're gonna have the 7N1 round and the LPS round at the beginning of wipe. In my opinion, both work very well. The 7N round is gonna do more flesh damage. The LPS GCH is gonna give you more penetration. So the LPS is definitely gonna go through level 3, level 4 armor is fairly common. The 7N1 is mostly gonna go through level 3 and below, and it's going to do a lot more flesh damage. So I would say right at the beginning of the wipe, just stick with 7N1 if you get your hands on that, or any ammo, to be honest, because you're going to come across so much ammo if you're looting stashes or whatever you're doing on the map. You're just going to get ammo galore for the Mosin. It's everywhere. So honestly, any ammo you come across from the Mosin, just go ahead and use, so long as it isn't the T45 ammo, I believe it's called. If you go ahead and look at the linked search here, we can go check it out. Yeah, sorry, the T46 ammo. This stuff is just garbage. It's really not good for much unless you're going up against nakeds. So I definitely recommend just using anything but that at the beginning of wipe. You're going to be solid. Now for the Mosin, you can put a couple attachments on the sniper rifle variant. You can put the scope on it, which in my opinion is like one of my favorite scopes in the game, just because I've used the Mosin so long. But you can also put a Bram suppressor on it for fairly cheap at the beginning of wipe. And yeah, overall it's a solid choice in my opinion. Now for the 4th and final weapon is the Hunter Rifle. The Hunter Rifle is so good. Like, oh my god. If I had to take one weapon off of all these, it would be the Hunter Rifle. So the Hunter Rifle, why is it good? Well, you can put 10 round mags in it. And those 10 round mags are 1 slaughters. So you can put those in your pockets and run like a rig with something else or something. But with the Hunter Rifle, you can load it with late game rounds as well. So you can put M61 rounds in it. You can put M993 rounds in it late game and take down some really thick kids. But it's also a good early wipe just because you can put stuff like M80s and FMJ rounds in it. These are going to easily penetrate through your level 3, level 4 armors early wipe. So you're not going to have too much trouble so long as you hit your shots. And yeah, you're going to get 10 rounds every magazine with this. You can also modify it to have calamitors on the side. I believe even this calameter will work on it, yes. So you can put calamitors on it, give yourself a nice sight. The iron sights on this gun aren't too great, but it does have a lot of ability to put different sights on it. You can also put the PSO sight on it, and etc. You can also even put a silencer on it. So the silencer works pretty well on it if you can get your hands on it. However, yeah, overall it's a pretty good weapon in my opinion. So that pretty much concludes all of the gear sets here that I've set up for early wipe. So if you guys like this video, if you guys have any recommendations, if you guys think that there's something I missed in here, if there's something else that you would use at the beginning of wipe, please tell me in the comments below. I'd like to know your opinion. And if you have any ideas on what I should talk about next, please let me know in the comments as well. And besides that, please like, subscribe, and have a good day.